What we talking about? You already know what I'm talking about. What we talking about? Money, what we talking about? What they talking about? This money, what I'm talking about. What we talking about? Money, what we talking about? What they talking about? This money, what I'm talking about. What we talking about? Money.
Good evening. What's good, folks?
Peace. We back with another episode of
What we talking about? Money, what we talking about? Yeah, we talking about everything under the sun today.
Yeah, so how you been, man?
I'm chilling, man, you know, relaxing. I just came back off vacation for the weekend, you know what I'm saying? I was in PA.
This guy right here, you was having a good time?
That was all right, you know what I'm saying? We ain't had no hot water in the Airbnb, I'm saying, but we was heating up pots of water on our vacation. It was
taking
all
it
right.
back to the project days.
I wouldn't say the project days, but I'm saying, you know, we had a time or two where we was without the hot water heater.
Yeah, I remember that. I know what that is like. Definitely. You know,
Yeah.
I grew up in public housing, so I definitely get it.
Yeah.
Oh, first and foremost, I gotta give a shout out to my junior, my young man. Happy birthday to you, son. Love you very much.
Okay, happy birthday.
Yeah, Kareem Bayin, my young football star. You know, I got to give him a shout out. Definitely. Yeah. So, yeah, man. I was just thinking about some things this week, man, and I'm happy we found us a good sponsor. You know, we found us a good sponsor this week.
Yeah, it's a lot of things rocking and rolling this week, man. A lot of things coming together this week, man.
Yeah, a lot of things coming together.
You've been excited this week, man. Talk about that.
Oh, you know, I'm always excited. What do you mean? I'm always excited. I'm always inspired and feeling, you know, like there's something on the horizon.
Yeah,
you know.
That's
but we're gonna
man.
talk about our sponsor first. I want to give a shout out to number one draft pick.
Shout out the number one draft pick.
Definitely, he's a New York designer. As you can see,
fire merch.
Yeah, he came out with a couple different varieties and flavors tonight. So
yeah, shut the green screen down.
yeah, we had to we had to bring the green screen down because this brother's outfit was a little fly. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of green, had some green in it. We had to pull that.
Y'all got to tap in the comments, man. When you pull up, y'all got to let us know what y'all think. Man.
Yeah. Talk to us tonight, people. Talk to us tonight. And we're gonna respond because you know you guys are in the comments a lot, so we're gonna definitely try to respond to you guys tonight.
Absolutely. Say whatever you want. We gonna say it back.
What you gonna say, man?
Whatever they want. Huh?
Yeah,
as long as it's positive. Positive feedback. Positive feedback.
Okay, all right, because you know I had to test you out today because you know I didn't know if you was
I don't want no smoke. I'm
came with your button up on the day. So you know I think you was in like a good mood.
I'm saying, listen, man, that's respect. That's respect for the guests right there. You know, I usually don't do this dressing up stuff. Next week I'll be dressed like a hoodlum.
Oh my gosh, there you go. Look, right? Like just right off the rails, right? Like yeah, you know, somebody said something to me on Instagram. They said, how come on the show you got on shades, but you never have shades on in the show? What do you think about that, man? Like,
who that, me?
Yeah, what do you think about that?
Man, I'm saying, man, what show are they talking about? I'm saying this show I always got shades on.
No, in our avatars.
I got shades on.
Yeah, but I have shades on too, but I don't have on shades in the show.
Oh, I'm saying, listen, man, you said you was gonna have shades. You ain't ever pull up with no shades. I'm saying,
hey, listen, man, I didn't rent you know what it's like to keep good shades, bro. Like, you know this, I didn't ran through like thousands of dollars in shades, bro. Like Gucci shades, like.
What do this got to do with the show?
I'm just we talking about fashion, man. So I'm just saying, like, you know, I'm just thinking, you know, like fashionably, you know, I need to get a pair of nice shades.
Oh, I'm saying, take care of that. I'm just tell your girl that. That's something you gotta tell your girl, but that's not something for me to be discussing, bro.
See, that's all you don't know. He got on the button up on him. He's still loaded up. He ready. You see this guy over there?
Hey, yo.
So what's up, man? I know you're working on some new music.
Nah, I haven't been. You know what? I've been so immersed in my family, man. I ain't really had no time to work on nothing that I need to work on. You know what I'm saying? Like every time I go to do something that I'm supposed to be doing, my kids want some time. You know, so I give them their time. You know what I mean?
Well, you gotta be an adult. We adults, so you know. My daughter, she's always tugging on my shirt too, so I get it. You know, it's family life. What do you expect? You know, like you feed them, they grow. You hear?
That's a fact. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, you know, it's these vacations or whatever. It's like it feels like everybody been on vacation for the last 10 days.
Yeah. So, it's nothing like a vacation though. I need one. We going on one soon. But we gonna take a little break and we gonna bring our guest out and introduce you to the owner and CEO of Number One Draft Pick. Be right back.
Cake Life, Capo, Eames, we back at it again. Y'all know what it is. We can't lose.
Now I got to let her know, Daddy ain't never gonna leave. You know I want you, girl, for all eternity. Now I got that money, my money, that's gonna give me back at home. Why they telling me for you, the niggas inside the girl? Get outside and tip the thing, guy, yeah. I said he's generated up, and now he's charged up. I said you better get your flow, you better ball up. He's shutting down everybody with a gun, he doesn't care, cause you know that energy's about to rise in the year. Going shake it for the money, shake it for the money, shake it for the money.
Peace. We back.
We back in the building, y'all.
Yeah, so we got us a mega star in the designer world, you know, one of those low-key guys that, you know, plays the background and, you know, you don't really know about him.
Major
see
things.
All of the stuff that he's doing, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna let you introduce yourself. I ain't gonna say nothing. Yeah, brother. Introduce yourself, brother.
My name is Emmanuel Pierre-Louis, a.k.a. Supreme. Been in the game for over 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the game is a crazy game.
Right.
It took me to success, and it also took me to divorce. Got remarried and had sons young. And once I had my son, something came over me, and I wanted to leave something that can transform into something major for them, because working in the urban business, it was kind of heartbreaking for me seeing all the big companies going out of business, Fat Farm,
right,
Nietzsche, Rockaware, Fubu, and these are the companies that inspired me. And it was hurtful to know that I've given a lot to that industry in setting up a brand called First Choice, another brand called Johnny Handsome, Johnny Girl, Tough City.
And I remember Tough City.
It was like a killer to know
Johnny
that
Girl.
the industry can just kill you at a moment's notice.
Just pull the rug.
And you're done. And me being who I am, and most people that know me, I don't settle for nobody just taking something from me.
Mm-hmm.
So once I saw the direction of the market and knowing that I had sons now,
mm-hmm.
and I would not want them to go through what I had to go through to try to figure it out in life.
Mm.
So I knew that I had to reinvent myself and build wealth opposed to just getting money and making millions and basically hustle in the white man's world.
So let me ask you a question. You was gonna go to?
Go ahead, man. You got it.
All right. So what part of New York City are you from? What's your neighborhood? What was it like growing up out there?
Queens, Rosedale.
Uh-huh.
When I was young, my neighborhood was dominantly white,
Mm-hmm.
and I was a black kid that didn't really know myself at the time, so I was running around like I didn't understand race.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they started doing stuff like, you know, calling me names and stuff like that, but I was always cocky, so I'd call them names. They called me the N-word, I'd call them the white word. And we'd laugh and we'd still be friends and we'd play. And that's all I ever knew and that's all I ever saw.
What year was this? You know, like
that
what was the timeline? You know, like,
I would say 80, 79,
79,
74, about 76, 77.
Right.
In that timeline, maybe around 75, I would say. I'm OG, y'all know.
Right.
Yeah.
I laid it down, you know. I laid the pavement.
Right.
A lot of things that's going on now. I'm probably the founder of some of it or part of it.
Tell us about it, man. Tell me a little. You know what I'm saying? You know, you kind of answering some of my questions before I'm
gonna keep it humble. I grew up I didn't need for nothing. My family gave me everything. We weren't rich. They didn't have a lot of money, but they gave us the best neighborhood. They gave us food. They gave us a place to stay. But the one thing they didn't give me is money for fashion.
Right.
You know, money for clothes. You know, I wore clothes, but you know, when you have a family from the islands, they don't give you like name brands. You know what I'm saying?
So what's your background?
I'm Haitian.
You're Haitian.
I'm from Haiti. I was born in Haiti, Port-au-Prince.
Right. Okay.
So I came.
Shouts to Haiti.
Right. Shouts to Haiti.
No doubt. Haitian in the building. Y'all know what it is.
Yeah.
We don't take no shorts, man. We fight for hours.
Definitely. All right. So, what was the the moment in your life where you said, I'm going to focus on being a designer. I'm gonna get into.
That was a long time. I mean,
like, how old was you when you like?
I was old. I mean,
you was old, or was you like
designer
teenage?
Was never,
coming out of
most people who know me, you would never think that I'd be in clothing or fashion, nor did I close my eyes or dream or inspired it, because I grew up a trendsetter. I grew up making it happen.
Right.
I grew up.
So what was you making happen? Like, give me a little insight on that.
I mean, I was getting money. Back when I came up, there was sports. You had to be in the top 20 colleges.
Right.
So that was out of it.
Right.
And they weren't. McDonald's was around. Yeah, Burger King was around. But once as you start growing up, first thing you see is dealers.
Right.
Driving nice cars and.
Yeah, you get a little inspired by it.
You don't see nothing else. You don't see ball players at that time. You don't see anything of those natures. So the first thing you want to do is hustle to get money.
Right.
And unfortunately for a lot of people, I set my eyes on that, and the rest was history.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But every good things come to an end.
Yeah, I hear you on that.
And that end was the next light. In my life, you know what I mean? It was like, okay, I see what you can do now. The world know that you that guy. You know what I mean? You left a mark. Now you see what can happen. You see where you can go. You've seen people that took it hard.
Right.
Is that what you want? Right. So that was the first change in my life.
So after that, how did you, you know what I'm saying, go legitimate in the business and become the CEO? And strive towards where you at now?
I mean, after that, I'm gonna try to keep it short because it was a lot. But after that, when the man put hands on you, he wants to watch you for a little while. So the first thing I wanted to do is, find a job.
Right.
And like most people, the only thing that was available coming from the game is construction because the money was kind of decent. You didn't need to, have much knowledge. You just need to be strong.
So that's how you got your start, like
no, no. That's not how I got my start. That's how I stayed sane because I do have a developing mind.
I understand.
You know what I mean? I wasn't the average. You know what I'm saying?
I understand.
I look at something, everybody see a garbage can. I might see, oh shit, I could sell 10 of these and everybody need garbage. And next thing you know, I'm selling garbage cans.
Right.
So I had to try to protect myself because I was still strong. I still knew a lot of people. Things was available. But I also knew what can happen. So I was fighting that.
Right.
So construction for me was a way of wearing my body out, going home and knocking out, waking up in the morning and having to do the same thing over again.
So basically what he's saying, people, is he was staying out of the streets, staying out of the how can I say it, the distracted lifestyle that some of us fall into in the poverty-stricken neighborhood. So
it's a lot of years.
Yeah, it's not an easy task, especially when it's a limited. Yeah, it's a limited number of jobs or so much scrutiny out there when you're trying to find a job. So it's a lot more to it than that. I'm not going to elaborate on that too much. I'm gonna take up too much of your time. But
yeah, but I'm gonna just turn it over because as you know, that ain't what I want to do though. At the same time,
absolutely,
it is allowing my mind to slow up a little bit opposed to moving fast.
Right.
And with that being said, the next thing I did, because I had some money stashed, I come from a background of thinkers. So I had paper, I had a Benz, had a couple of other cars. So I was able to stay grounded.
You still got a Benz too. I seen you still got a Benz out there. It was nice.
Yeah, I stay. Everyone who know me know I stay with Benz.
Yeah, okay.
So my whole life, that's my signature. I know Benz should be paying me.
Yeah. I'm a Beamer guy, so I ain't gonna say nothing. I am.
But then I decided to open up a barbershop because I wanted to become an entrepreneur.
Right.
One of the worries that always worried me is having the background of having a lot of money, seeing a lot of money. I always challenge myself. How would I work a 9 to 5 and be content? So that was problem, a lot of problems to me. So started a little business in Brooklyn, barbershop, and at least
you mind? Where was that barbershop located at in Brooklyn?
It was in between Howard and Ralph on Fulton.
Oh, you was in Bed-Stuy.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
The story is funny because the reason I went to Brooklyn was for two reasons. One, being that my stomping ground was Queens, I didn't want to get caught, slipping.
I get it.
And just open up a business thinking it's all gravy and just chilling back and something keep up on me.
Old problems.
Old problems. So I figured Brooklyn, I felt that at that time cats didn't really go to Brooklyn. So I would have a fresh start. I wouldn't have to worry about nothing. And I wasn't afraid of Brooklyn because I knew people. I knew what time it was, so I could handle myself. And then, with Queens kind of got it's a little elegant opposed to Brooklyn. So I didn't have to spend as much money opening up my store.
And Queens get the money.
Queens, I gotta spend $10,000 on the chair. Brooklyn, I can spend about $800 on the chair. I'm not saying nothing against BK, but you guys welcome people simple. Queens, they want you to be uppity at that time. I don't spend too much money. But it worked out pretty good because I did well. The barbershop was good.
Yeah.
But I still wasn't content. I was doing construction. I was doing that. And then, I was trying to think, how can I get back to that, but yet, you know what I mean? Not go to that, and my brain was thinking. And then I used to pass by this beeper shop and I thought about it because, when I was in the system, not the system, but when I was in the game, I should say, I was fortunate to have a beeper back then. So I was aware of beepers and the need of them. And I always had this feeling like when the public get to it, because back in my time, you either had to be that man or a doctor or a lawyer, that specialized person.
Right.
So connected with the beeper company, opened up the beeper shop within my barber shop. Started dealing with the customers. Had the barbers come to me. Had a couple of people that was in there start getting beepers from me. I was learning from
So
this guy.
would you say you're the first guy to start doing selling beepers at a barbershop? Because I used to see that a lot when I was young.
I mean, yeah, I'm a trendsetter. You know, everyone who know me know that I had it. I was killing it.
Right.
Make a long story short, because I know we you know, I want to take too much of your talk times as well. Set up the beeper shop, open up a little small hole in the wall. It was a wrap. Money, and then beepers happened to explode right there after.
What year was
with
this?
Me in it. That was 90. I would say it was it 90? Between 93, around 93 to 98. You know what I mean? Maybe, yeah, around 92 in that area.
Okay.
That was right around about 91, 92.
What was it, like Smart Beep at that time or something like that? Like
Smart Beep, if I'm not mistaken, was what got me out of the business.
Oh, okay.
Because by the time I made so much money, I was killing it. I'm talking about more money than drugs. Real talk. Because at that time, you're talking about I had the whole BK, I had the whole hood, I had beepers in other people's stores. I had already learned how to.
So what was you like? What was it like? All right, in the beeper business, what was like on a good year? What was the net income for?
On a good year for me at that time, about 700,000. 700,000 at that time a year. But here's what's even better: $700,000, but my expense would be about 150. You know what I'm saying? So the profit ratio was ugly.
Well, that's what they had to get rid of beepers. Nice. They said, "Oh, nah, people's made too much money too fast."
Pay $2 for the little chain, sell that for $10, $15. Case dollar, sell a case for 15.
So the accessory money was a total different beast.
You know, the beeper people pay me monthly. I get a residual. In Brooklyn, for whatever reason, and I'm sure all over the place, I have about 6,000 customers, 10,000 customers every month. If let's say I got 2,500 people due that month, right? Almost 1,500 is late. So you get a late fee, reactivation fee, plus their beeper fee.
That's nice.
And to them, it was nothing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it was just ugly money.
Yeah, that's.
And you know, so that was the beginning of my reemerge. And at that time, I was trying to find something bigger to do, something better to do. And you know, went and did a recording studio.
How was that venture?
That venture, that was weird because I don't want to mention too many names, but I can mention a few. Like for example, Marvelous Tony Yayo, known as Tony Yayo, was my artist. I put them on the map. 50 and all of them used to come to my studio. You know, I didn't have him on lock, but I gave them the access. You know, I brought Pro Tool to the hood back then because Pro Tool was about $200 an hour. You know, Jewish guys in the city.
I understand. So that's
kids
dope,
didn't have
man.
the money.
Breaking news.
So I brought Pro Tool to the hood. We were doing like the Mastermind. We were doing Unsigned Hype. You know, all of that stuff that was going on in Queens. I was producing it.
Wow.
And a lot of people didn't know. And the magic word was playing the background. And I was in the background because I had all frontmen in the front. I was playing the back because I could see who's coming in. I was still rehabilitating myself out here. And I know there's a lot of people that, you know, has brothers and sons and uncles. So I just I need to make sure that there was no bad blood.
You
know what I mean? So
I get what you're saying.
And it cost me because I wasn't engaging with certain people. So I kind of lost a lot of opportunities. Cats didn't really hold the ball correctly. But the name was coming up. And just to jump to the clothing, one thing that did happen when I had the groups and, you know, DJ Absolute, I knew Envy and them, you know, you name them, they came to my studio when they were coming up. But when we had the groups, everybody wanted to buy the shirts as we were naming groups and I was making shirts for them. as you do to identify the groups, the kids was asking for it. And that kind of rang a bell for me. And that's when I started to do First Choice, which was the original name of my beeper shop. And I'm going to make it short. I ended up owning about 4 beeper shops in Long Island, in Brooklyn, in Queens. Beeper shops had about 10 beeper shops. I had a spot in Chambers Street.
You said First Choice, right?
First Choice Beepers. And then I had the First Choice Entertainment, the whole movement. I had First Choice all the way till even recently.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that was always my branding.
Right.
Everyone knows what
that
is. But that was like train out of control. I was pumping money in the system. I was making money, but I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
So, I know. I understand as a young business owner myself, sometimes we get distracted by when the money starts coming in and we start forgetting about the logistics of things and the management of of the materials and the inventory and then the money. So you just sometimes you got the money coming in, you're like, all right, I'm gonna just spend this. Oh, it's to cover that. Cool, take that to do that, but you don't know if it's getting done or if it's getting done on time. And that was penalty. This is all types of stuff that people don't pay attention
to. Life is good when you about your life,
right?
But when you have a secret life, you also don't learn. You don't know a lot. When you have a good life, no one tells you nothing. So it's like I had the good and the bad all in one. So I had to learn everything the hard way. And the good thing for life and the good thing for me is that I was determined to learn without going backwards, which means if I took an L, I accepted it because I wasn't going to allow no one to bring me back to who I was. And those that know. Yeah. And I just kept moving on from it. If I felt it was too much, if I felt it was bringing me back to where my life would end up in the wrong place, I let it go. So that's when I let the music go. And then I stayed focused on the clothing now because cats didn't value life. You spend about $50,000 on them. Next thing you know, they're running with the next dude. Yeah. And I'm sitting there looking at these cats like,
I just invested all this money into you. Where are you going? Hey, I just bought this studio for you guys.
And I had a guy come back to me, one of my little bands, and he had ran off and he met some people that knew me, my opposition from the past. And he disappeared and I never understood why. And one day, years later, because his cousin ran with me for almost 20 years. And he came back to me and he shook my hand. He said, yo, I didn't know you was that guy. All this time you could have did a lot to us and we didn't know it. You know what I mean? But, everyone has their own idea in life. I always had the notion that if you can, I hate to see when we waste our life in the street.
Yeah.
The jail, Black people are one of the most talented people in the whole world. But we waste that energy. And then sometimes not even that you waste it. I think, keeping it 1,000, the system itself knows that and they keep us down and they do things to keep us active or activate in it and then lock us up and then they don't have to compete against us. You know what I mean? And, it's just a well-made system, but a lot of us is getting out of that system and we're understanding more. And because what I've seen behind bars and what I've seen out here is no match.
Yeah.
No, it's no match. And it's sad to see these great minds going to waste. And some will never come out. But those type of things that I saw is what kept me pushing forward and never looking back. Because I'm not going to be one that wastes my mind in that situation.
Right. So let me ask you this, right? What are like some of the goals that you want to set for the youth, around you that or help them to acquire some of these goals around you? Like, what are some of the goals that you would like to put in front of these guys?
Well, the first set of goals that I've had are actually
So they can become entrepreneurs like
now. I have a couple of guys that's making a couple of millions that's worked for me side by side. Everyone told him that, yo, why don't you go do your own thing? He's going to leave you while you helping him. And, you know, we went through the whole thing.
Yeah.
They stuck by me, and, you know, we did a lot of big things and made even people talk even more. And eventually I set them up to do their own thing, supported them, taught them all the knowledge. The longer they stayed with me, the more knowledge I gave them, because that's usually the exchange. You know, even though people don't understand it, because you don't never relinquish everything.
Right.
And you can't, because it's a process. You know what I mean? You have to pay your dues, and then eventually you get it. And so I have people right now that's making millions due to me. You know, I have some that has just recreated curriculums in the hospital and getting ready to launch it in every hospital.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I have models that are supermodels. I have people that are doing movies. You know, so a lot of people came up through me, around me.
So do you like sit them down and because I talk to you and you got a lot of information. So I want to know, do you kind of sit them down and show them the structure, or do you
a little bit of both. 90% of it, you know, like I'm not a talker, meaning like I don't talk to strangers, I don't talk to a lot of people. But if you down with me, you gonna be like, yo, this nigga. You know, I would destroy a person's brain.
Yeah.
So yes, I talk to them a lot, but I show them.
Right.
So they, you know, I used to try to, in the process that I spoke about earlier, one of the mistakes I made was I was trying to put frontmen's around me.
Right.
You know, just show cats love, and you know, everybody accepted that. Oh, he making me the man, he behind me.
Right.
But they weren't getting the job done.
Right.
And they talked like they wanted it, but they couldn't get the job done. And by the time I started losing so much money and putting so much money out there, and then losing the love for my small businesses, growing love for what I've invested a lot in, I got to a point where I was just like, F it. I'm going to go out there, put my face out there, and whoever want it, bring it.
So let me ask you, all right, so what are some of the other big corporations that you've worked with? Or should I just say corporations?
Shit, you name them. And clothing, all of them. Burlington, City Trend, Didi's, Jimmy Jazz, Dr. J's, Eblin's, you know, Foot Action, all of them. At one time, I was doing about 600,000 units per month in T-shirts.
In T-shirts?
In T-shirt. When y'all saw all the verbiage T-shirts, the Stop Snitching, the cereal boxes, I had Fox News calling me to interview. I had people petitioning, man, listen, I killed the game. You know what I mean? But it was one of them things where it's the story's too long, because when I was grinding, I watched Sean John develop. I watched Rockaway develop.
FUBU.
Right, which pushed me further. FUBU was already coming up. That's what inspired me. Dada and FUBU inspired me, because they were street cats like me.
Right.
So that inspired me. Like, shit,
Right.
street cats doing it.
Yeah.
I know I can do it. And all those that know, me being the real should be easy.
Right.
That, that's what I thought, at least.
Right.
It wasn't easy, but
yeah.
But it was kind of like the suppression of rappers getting all the props kind of pushed street niggas down. And at that time, FUBU was even going down.
Yeah.
So I was kind of on some like, damn, I was mad.
Yeah.
So I created an anti-rapper movement. And I'll explain it simpler, because my thing was, in order to produce a rapper, we have to market him, promote him, produce him, and push him.
Budgets.
And how to call my friends that y'all gonna ride that nigga sack. But meanwhile, I'm that nigga.
Yeah.
We're that nigga that made him.
Just made him.
So I get it, because I'm learning. Okay, he's the shine. He's that dude. So y'all
get
tagging behind him.
Yeah.
But y'all don't want to do no move with me. So I was getting angry. So two things that I did that after. The first thing I did was go in the game, and I said, I got something for y'all niggas, because when I learned the game, like going behind the game, like where everything happened. Like black people don't know that. There's an area where you go to the trade shows, you go where all the buyers come in, where they're going to purchase from the Jewish, and all of that.
Yeah.
So when I learned that, I said, okay, I'm gonna teach y'all niggas something. I was able to speak to a company. By then, I done lost money. I done learned who the Chinese was, who the Indians was, who the Jews was.
They all got their different markets.
They all got their different ideologies, and the ones that give a black guy like myself an opportunity, I targeted one. The story's too long for me to get into it, so I found one. So we chopped it up. I gave him my game plan, and he went for it, because one thing about certain Asian guys, they make a big splash one time. They don't like to mess with our people, but to get their name going, they'll make a move. So I found one that was willing to make a move, and I had a plan, and my plan was simple. I'm going to bring the movement in the back room. So what I did was I immediately decided, I started to bring it with me. The year 50 launched, I had a double spread in that same Double XL magazine, and every month.
Okay.
And back then, you on one Double XL, you were a celebrity.
Yeah,
that's how
Double XL was big.
Then Vibe and all of this stuff. And being an ex-hustler and having a street team, I had a team. I had the movement. So I had the vans. So anything that we did to push a rapper like Def Jam had, I did it behind myself and my one little man, and we went in the industry. So I turned myself into a celebrity by promoting myself in the same manner we did to the rappers, but I went in the back room. I was taking the girls, and I ain't mentioned this thing. I did have a strip club for a couple of years in Nostrand, St. Mark and Prospect.
What was the name of it?
Baby Grand. St. Mark and Prospect.
St. Mark and Prospect.
I was able to see the impact women had on people.
Yes.
So for me, it wasn't that I brought strippers up there, but I knew if I would bring a certain amount of models with me, the same thing that create videos, but I bought it in the back room. And make a long story short, I took that company in 3 years from no money, because I mean, we put our money together, our resources together, from about 800 grand to $16 million in
I heard that
less than 4 years.
We talking paper.
And I was the CEO of that brand. Chinese guy was the distributor and the manufacturer, but I hired, I dictated, I chose the designs, and my team was the team that executed everything.
Have control.
So that's what put me in the game. And then from that, I did other little brands and other stuff. All good things come to an end. My partner at that time, he decided to split, which we had planned on splitting a proper way. But, one of the things I learned when you're successful, everyone fight to be successful, but no one knows what to do when you're successful. But no one has never been successful until you're successful.
Right.
So I kind of saw a lot of stuff, and I saw how, the industry just, the
slimy
slime
stuff
ball just came, and anybody that was weak, they got to you. And a couple of dudes got to my partner. And he didn't flip on me yet, but he started making moves that would have discredited me or do certain things, and based on my history.
So how did you catch on?
It's easy to catch on. I mean, if you woke, if you open, it's not like a woman thing. If I'm used to making decisions, and all of a sudden somebody come in the circle, especially my own kind of people, and you go in the room with them without me. It don't take a rocket science. To know that.
Like, we all hanging out. Why he go over there with them for?
You know what I'm saying? But I was the lean back dude. But my little people used to be nervous. Not to tell, don't worry about it, man. I know how to deal with these people. But
can I interject real quick, right? And I got a quick question, right? Because to me it sounds like even though you put out different lines of clothing, it sounds like you may be like a branding specialist.
Definitely. I mean,
would you consider yourself like a designer or a branding specialist?
I always tell people I consider myself a businessman.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because that's what I've always been. That's what I was. But in the process of being a businessman, you have a little bit of all of that.
Right.
You know, what do I like the most? Is the marketing and designing, because I'm very creative. Not so much design wise, you know, but like I could take a spin. I could spin things. You know, you're not gonna keep me on my back. You know what I mean? You can take all my resources, but I'm gonna spin it and come right back. And that's just a God given gift.
So you basically at all facets. You go from the designing room to the marketing to down to, you know, even to the accounting.
Yeah, I had a hands or managed everything, because at that time, you know, that's because, you know, winning, you have to be involved winning.
Right.
Because every aspect of winning, people can hurt you in winning.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because I've learned a lot from not being able to win early on.
Right.
Making a lot of mistakes. Like I was blessed with the beeper shop, the strip club, and the barber shop. So I made a lot of money.
Yeah, you had a lot of different businesses.
I had a lot of money to blow. You know what I mean? And I was trying to start something positive. And when you're doing something positive, no amount of money feel like you're blowing. And it was a good thing, because I made it all back like this.
Well, do you know how much you blew?
I always, my last calculation before I got on was around $1 million. And that was receipts. That was receipts and investors. Because I had this one lady that invested in the process time like $250,000. And I learned something from that, because she had money to blow.
Right.
And she was giving me money because she liked the hype, she liked the movement that we were doing. And it hit me one day like, wait a minute, as I was getting smarter, all the knowledge that I'm learning that I need, you already had.
Yeah.
Why you never taught me this?
Oh yeah, now you know how the gatekeepers
so
are.
I learned how,
Yeah.
And then we was going to deals, and people was ready to do deal with me, and I'd bring her on the table, and the deals would go dead. And I didn't have a problem, because she's been supporting me, so I'm going to be behind her.
Yeah, but you know what I noticed from situations like that I think that would happen, because it's like when people come around and they speak a certain language, so she probably spoke the language of some of the people in there, or they understood, you know, they have, like in the music business, a different language from the construction business. It's a different, not necessarily language, but terminologies, verbiage. Your lingo is going to be different. So, you know, what I've noticed is that when someone else comes in the room and they're with you and they speak that verbiage, you got to be careful about them, because, you know, they may be over there like, he's a pretty good guy, but, you know, not your everyday superstar. And that'll be like that'll be like a signal to them, like, oh, he's good, but don't take your, don't invest your money. Don't invest your money in this guy. That's what that is.
It was just crazy, you know what I mean? Because she just wanted to have control, and because she never had control of me and control of my business, she was determined to not let no deal go through without her.
And
she keep putting her bread up, it might blind you.
Right. And for a while it did. It did, because you become loyal to somebody who's doing more than your own people who got money to. You know what I mean? And she had a good heart. And then she probably met good, but in her trying to protect her own interests, she left me just hanging in there to a point where my money was depleted.
You feel like, looking back on that, like old money ain't good money.
Old money ain't good money. So the process of success, I was going through it by just not making it early on. So when my opportunity came, actually my opportunity didn't come. I created it. And that story is too long for me to even get into. I think I told it to you. You know, with the Chinese dude and shit like that.
You broke it down. That was real elaborate.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like, I set that up from learning, you know, after a while. And even that process was something, because something came over me one day. And, you know, I'm born, I mean, I wasn't born righteous, but I was righteous. I just explained that to your brother, and I never really publicly mentioned it to nobody. People know me as Supreme because I had knowledge of self. But at some point, you still keep your knowledge, but you expand into more like laid back. You know, my grandmother was a praying woman. And, you know, every now and then you're like, you know, when you're trying to win, you do a little bit of everything. You stay focused. You do a little prayer. You do a little bit of everything. So I had got to a point where I couldn't understand why I can't break the game. And I turned to the man. And when I turned to the man, and this is a weird story, I said to him, because now that my money's depleted and I don't feel like going back to the whole beepers and barbershop and all that, I said, you know, Lord, help the world now, because you know how I'm going to get it. You know what I mean? And at that point, I know my end game, but I also know what's going to happen before my end game.
So what made you stay focused on? Well, you know what? Hold on a second.
He telling you.
We're going to take a break real quick, and then we're going to come right back. We're going to play some commercials and some ads of this brother's line. Then we're going to come right back. We're going to take a quick break. Be right back. Peace.
We have all heard the clever line, teamwork makes the dream work. And our N1DP team is determined to make every athlete's dream come true with a high-performance footwear and apparel at affordable price.
Another thing about number one draft pick is it's for all sports: baseball, basketball, football, soccer, hockey, all sports. And it's also inspirational because every young kid wants to become number one draft.
All I'm saying, at least support your own community, because we will be focusing in our communities. N1DP.com.
Had to come back with some fresh hats. We're back. So Preem, because I had to cut you off real quick so we would miss our commercial break. My questions over here has died on me. You know, my notepad died on me.
Hold on, I got one for you. What's your favorite place to eat in NYC?
Yeah, right.
I done ate everywhere. I do have a couple of little spots, you know, because I'm a down low kind of guy.
Yeah.
There's a spot on I don't remember no name, no street. I just know how to get there. But Queens Boulevard, there's an Italian place. You know, I know it's on the left side once you're heading towards the city. I can't remember the street, but it's right at the corner. Everybody gotta know they got good food over there. There's another Chinese. What they mix with? It's I've eaten so many places, man, especially in Vegas, man.
Hit him with the next question. Hit him with the next question.
You want me to hit him with the
next question? With the next question.
Who's your favorite DJ?
Oh my God.
Yeah, New York City DJ, because you know we gotta rep New York City.
You know what? I knew Envy personally. I knew DJ Absolute used to sleep in my basement, you know. So I root for people that I know.
Okay,
that's how I do. You know what I'm saying?
You ain't even gonna answer my question though. I asked you who's your. You just gave me two DJs. You ain't tell me if neither one of them was your favorite. You ain't tell me.
I would have to go with Envy only because. You know, I know him, and
shout out to DJ Envy. DJ Envy, you the winner, man.
He don't know that, but he know that me and him was in contact early on, and he picked up my call. But I left the music game alone.
Yeah.
So there was no need for us to really chop it up too much.
Yeah. You know, they be busy.
Yeah,
I get it.
But he did play my stuff on the radio. Yeah. He used to answer my call.
Envy, man, come get you a couple hats, man.
You
know what I'm saying? Put that legwork in.
I just did an interview up there in Power 105 Sunday, I think it was, or Saturday.
Yeah.
You want to show the
Like the
people a
Breakfast
little
Club?
bit about what you got on? I kind of want you to
what
show
I have
off.
on is a racing set.
Nah, you can stand up,
Yeah,
man.
you
Show it
gotta
off.
stand up and you gotta-
Yeah, show
Just a
that.
racing set. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's the Boston colors.
You got a shirt
Top
on
and
underneath the
bottom,
match.
embroidery. But this shirt don't really go with it. I didn't have time to
It's all right.
go look for it.
Okay,
So I just put that one on with the logo. You never go wrong with the
Yeah,
logo.
show it off,
That
man.
This is
That's
hard, man.
logo.
Nah, that match
I
though.
take this off and
Hey.
you see this.
Hey, Preem,
I'm about to fly,
where can our subscribers get them one of these
Yeah, where can they pick that
fly
up?
sweatsuits from?
www.n1dp.com.
Say that again.
n1dp.com. That's simple. The website. Just scroll, search, or you could contact anyone on my Instagram at number one draft pick, which is NODRAFTPICK.
Right.
Yeah, y'all make sure y'all tap in. Tap in and go get y'all something, man. It's a lot of special things going on there.
Yeah, this guy got a lot of different flavors,
But you were saying with the religious stuff, what really made a spin for me, and they always say this shit happened, and for me it was hard because from 17 to maybe, I don't know, 30 something, I never was broke. Never got low.
Yeah.
And I got to a point where with the music, the fashion and everything and learning and bumping my head, I got low.
Yeah.
Low to a point where, I was juggling even my mortgage, but I had a lot of other options, inventory. I had stuff. But,
and this before you made that 16 million.
Yeah, that's before that.
Yeah.
And I told myself at that point where, I'm gonna have no choice to go re-up and make it happen.
Yeah.
And
So what made you say, I gotta stay on this path?
I was in my room one day. First of all, I took a quarter off because I realized that I was working constantly. And
I may need you to explain to the people what a quarter is for the business people. They understand what you're talking about.
Well, you have first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, which means the first quarter is January, February, March.
Right.
You know what I mean? And the second quarter is the next 3 months.
Right.
Third quarter is the next 3 months.
Right.
And the last quarter is the fourth quarter, which is, I believe, which would be what? October, November, and December.
And what are these quarters for? How do you?
Well, it's for me. It's seasonal. It allows you to plan for the seasons to come, so you change the product and you prepare in advance, of course.
Right.
And sometimes some people, that's where they end their books, and stuff of that nature. So you
heard right. Books, your taxes. You got to pay attention to your books and your taxes.
Yes.
But I had to ask the man above. I said, it's like my grandparents. Everyone talk about. I praise God for everything. So my thing was I was ready to break now because I wasn't going to be broke.
Right.
So the only option was to go back to the game.
Things you knew how to do.
Or you need to make me be aware of what it is that I'm unaware.
Right.
Because I was still confident of myself.
Yeah.
So now I calculated there was only one thing that could be stopping me because everything else, I'm aware of it. The only thing is I didn't believe. I said, but you're going to need to give me a sign that you exist. And I'm going to tell you what I want to find out. I said, because if you don't come through, you know what time it is. Forget what I can tell you and everybody. He and I know what time it is because he's lived with me every day. Right. You've seen what I do, and you know who I am. So I'm talking to you now.
Right.
And I'm in the room by myself that day. I was doing some barbells, and I was just sitting there to myself. Because if niggas would have seen that, they'd be looking at me like, "Yo, what the hell wrong with you?"
Well, now you look fit. You look fit.
Right since your whole life, and you talking about, giving up to the man.
Yeah,
so I was just like, I need to see what I can't see because clearly I'm not seeing something where I keep fumbling the ball.
Right.
And make a long story short, I gave him a scenario that I was going to go through. First, he made me, I saw everyone for who they were.
Right.
Which is some of the things that I told you because that was the first time I asked them. But that happened because I took those 3 months off. I was able to replay like a detective, replay my past, and I literally saw who was helping, who wasn't helping, who was fumbling. You know, just the whole idea.
Right. Who are the people that's really here supporting the brand?
All the people that was fucking up my deals, I said, this go around, F everybody. I'm gonna do everything, and then I'm gonna take care of everybody else. I'm not gonna bring you in my deal, let you come to try to show fate, because no one wants the best for me. Right. So I'm gonna do this, and I'm gonna do this, and if this and this and that happen, I'm gonna know you exist. Right. And I made it very difficult. Yeah. I made it to where it's unlikely for what I asked to happen. Mm-hmm. And when I went through the scenario, because one thing about business is a recycle. Right. You know what I mean? So when my next opportunity came, I went through the A, B, C, D, boop. Swear to God, everything happened exactly how I asked it to happen. And that don't happen. Mm-hmm. And it bugged me out because I knew I tapped in. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, shit. You know what I mean? And the rest was history.
He does exist.
Word is bond.
Yeah, no,
he exists. I mean, believe or don't believe, I tapped in.
Nah.
Because he tapped in with
God-fearing people here at this table.
You understand what I'm saying? And the rest was history. Right. And I ain't never had to look back. Right. And that's pretty much what brought me here was the downfall of everything that inspired me and me having my two sons. And then knowing that I have an opportunity before I'm older, to do something that my son and them can't do. Mm. You know what I mean? Because it's once in a lifetime, some people are born to do certain things. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like every rapper can't sell millions of dollars of clothes. Yeah. Even though they're going platinum. Yeah. You know what I mean? A lot of people can't do what I do. I already knew that. The world know that.
Well, your journey has been very
monumental.
Yeah, monumental. Yeah. And for all the entrepreneurs out there that want to pursue becoming a master brander and designer, you definitely need to do your research. You can do your research with number one draft pick first, and learn a little bit about this brother right here. And maybe prepare yourself to become a brand ambassador, a designer in the fashion world. That's just some of the artists that we see wearing the brand. And, this guy's been around. He's not just talking it, he's walked it. You know what I'm saying? He's been around. So thank you once again.
Major things going on here.
Yeah, but folks, we got like 5 seconds. So we want to give everybody a piece. And thank you for your time, and y'all have a good night.
Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button too. What we talking about? You already know what we talking about.
All the info will be in the bio.
Promo code will be given.
Shout out Tyreek.
Hold on, let me get this promo code.
Go ahead.
Y'all make it up. Well, y'all gotta create a promo.
Yeah, no, this guy. I thought he had one that was already put together. We just host the show, right? We need other people to do that stuff, right? All right, no, we got you. Promo code is what we talking about at number one draft pick. All right, guys. You guys have a good night. We appreciate your time once again.
Yeah, love y'all.
See you next week.
Tune in next week.
Monday, 10 p.m. Optimum Channel 20. Peace. Strong on TV.